to play with, and his couple, but looks that kill. Now don't you know that I ain't playing, not running game. You keep moving like that, might go ahead and change that last name. She said, I love the way you handle me. Quit stumbling, put your hands on me. Baby, what's your plans for me? Told her, gotta wait and see. This song too nice, why don't you dance with me? I always want you next to me. Ain't no place I'd rather be. Love the smell of you on me. She said, the things I'd do to you got me high, it ain't the flu. My tongue is twisted, can't speak this way. Baby girl, you got me saying, you got me tripping, you got me stumbling over the place. Walk around 540, girl, your aroma, it leaves a trace. She said, I love the way you handle me. Quit stumbling, put your hands on me. Baby, what's your plans for me? Told her, gotta wait and see. This song too nice, why don't you dance with me? I always want you next to me. Ain't no place I'd rather be. Love the smell of you on me. She said, the things I'd do to you got me high, it ain't the flu. My tongue is twisted, can't speak this way. Baby girl, you got me saying,
Hey everyone, love is in the air, and so is another episode of Culture Central.
Yes, as you can see, it's a season of love and Black excellence. With that said, thank you, Golden, for being our solo state performer.
You can listen to Golden's EP, Midas Touch, on all streaming platforms, and stay tuned for more Black excellence within today's episode.
Now, let's get into the topics. So, Mitch, what's the word?
Now, a lot has happened since our last What's the Word episode, but I think the biggest thing that's going on is the Grammys. So we've had a lot of big moments this year, a lot of history being made. Victoria Monet won Best New Artist, Best African Performance, Tyler. Karol G won the first American Grammy for the Best Musica Urbana album. A lot of things going on. What was your most surprising moments of this year's Grammys?
My most surprising moment? I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised by Tyler. I think she's a great artist, but I was expecting Ira to get it for Rush. Okay. As far as new artists, I think Victoria Monet, she deserved it. I was so happy to see her get that award on stage. But what I want to talk about is the fumble. Because we all know that they gave Killer Mike the Best Rap Album Award. However, it was announced that Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice got it. Tell me, why do you think they're playing with Nicki like that?
I don't think they're playing with Nicki. I mean, sometimes people make mistakes.
Is that a mistake, Mitchell?
That's a very big mistake to make, like, regardless. But I don't think they're playing with Nicki. Nonetheless, I know if that was me in that situation, I would be very upset because if my name was called but I actually didn't win, it would sting a little bit. But accidents happen, like I said before, and I think this is just a small little bump in the road.
A small bump in the road?
Just a tiny one.
Tiny? Just okay. But anyway, we know that Taylor Swift also set the record for most best records. This is her fourth time winning it. What do you think about that?
It's a big deal. I mean, Taylor Swift for the last couple of years, she has been running the music industry with all of her accolades, and everywhere you go, I remember being in the store a couple days ago, and out of all the magazines there, Taylor Swift's face was on like 10 of them. So her image is really, really big. She's really moving the needle, so to speak, and it shows within the Grammys.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I think Taylor Swift is a great artist. But somebody who has never won this award is Beyonce. And Jay-Z made that evident when he went on the stage and accepted his Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. So Beyonce has been nominated for this category several times. However, she has never won. And there's no women of color winning this award really either. Like, Lauryn Hill was the last person to receive this award in 1999. Like, what do you think women of color need to do to actually receive this award?
I mean, I think it's been a conversation for a long time of the Academy and their voting. For the last couple years, we've seen not only fans on social media, but even the artists that submit their albums to the Recording Academy still critique the voters. I know that we never know who's actually being a part of the voting, who picks the winners. So I think there's a lot of things within the voting system that I think fans and just insiders need a little bit more perspective on. And overall, I think nonetheless, the Academy shouldn't delegate what an artist means to music culture. No matter what, yes, it's unfortunate that Beyonce and other women of color, or people of color rather, haven't had the opportunity to be in the category or win that award, but that shouldn't define their status within music and what they have contributed to the music industry.
Okay, and I like that you talked about contributions to the music industry. Shannon Sharp says that Beyonce doesn't move the needle like Taylor Swift. What do you have to say about that statement?
I don't think that was a really good statement because to me personally, those are really two different market types for both of the artists. You don't really hear a lot of Taylor Swift fans being Beyonce fans. Sometimes those demographics don't really mix. So I think respectively, they move the needle in their own ways, and I don't think that should be measured.
Okay, that's a good response.
I tried. But in other news and regarding music, Universal Music Group and TikTok, all the Universal Music Group TikTok is off the app. What do you think about that? How do you think this impacts artists? We have a lot of big names like Taylor Swift, Ice Spice, Drake, Kendrick, SZA. The list goes on.
And Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. I know you're going to add that. All these artists and their music have been taken off the platform.
Yeah.
What do you think this does for artists, and what do you think this will impact in the future?
I think this makes it difficult for artists to really share their music, because we know that there was a big switch to TikTok for artists to promote their music. Like, that's arguably one of the reasons why Ice Spice blew up. And TikTok really appeals to a younger audience. So it's difficult to try to get a new and younger audience if they're not being able to have their music on TikTok anymore. Because I know you said that they're moving toward Facebook and Instagram, but a lot of young people aren't on Facebook. So, like, how are they going to market their music? I think it makes it difficult.
Yeah. And another big thing that they mentioned was they were looking at the metrics of how much artists were going to get paid, and saying that it was a fraction of what Instagram and Facebook and all these other social media apps were providing. But Instagram and all those social media apps don't really pay that much out as well. So I don't really think the finances and the money was really that big of a deal to break the partnership.
Yeah.
Because even a lot of artists say Apple Music and Spotify only like a small, like tiny little percentage of that music or the revenue streams actually goes to the artist's pockets. So I think that's another big thing to look at within the industry, and making sure that these artists are getting paid for the work that they do.
Yeah, I agree. And like, in that same vein of music, we know that a lot of international artists use TikTok to promote their sounds too. So Shinsia, an international artist, she is a Grammy-nominated artist from Jamaica. Her most popular song is Shinging Anthem. And recently, conversations came up with her former producer, and he's saying that she lost her authenticity trying to be a crossover artist. And Shinsia, she's very popular. She has songs or collaborations with Vybz Kartel, Megan Thee Stallion, Kanye West, Chris Brown, Charlie Puth, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Wizkid, and she was even featured on the Spider-Verse album. However, a lot of people are concerned that she's losing her original sound and authenticity, and her original fan base. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's really hard, especially when you're trying to appeal to a new base of fans, especially in a different country.
Yeah.
So that's really a big deal. But I think these things take time. I don't think when an artist becomes popular, there's something of their sound that never leaves. And I think it's more so you have to dig to incorporate that with the new sounds. So it's always important for an artist to experiment, because if you don't experiment, people are going to say that you always sound the same. But if you do experiment, there's going to be people who don't like the new sound and they want to go back to the old style of music that you made. So I think it's still finding that common ground and just finding that perfect footing of new sound and old sound for Shenseea. And as you said, she has a lot of artists to co-sign her, and she has a lot of great music out with these artists. I just think it just needs to take a little time, and these things, you just really got to let it simmer, and it'll cook up eventually.
Do you think she might like regain her fan base if she were to go back to her original sound, or do you think it might be too late for that?
I don't think it's ever too late. Once you fall in love with the artist, it never really leaves. Even like some of our biggest favorite artists, there have been times where they tried something new and we didn't necessarily agree with it, but we always stood by them because it's a new chapter and it's a new progression of their lives. So it's always important to hear that through the music. And I think if she went back to her old sound while still incorporating the new in a new way for fans to experience, I think they'll definitely be back in the near future.
I get that, yeah.
And to kind of keep on the path of crossovers, let's talk about Sofía Vergara being a crossover actress in Griselda. Right now, Griselda is a hit on Netflix. I think it is the #1 show right now. A lot of people are tuned in. And, you know, Sofía Vergara is best known for her role in Modern Family, but she is the lead in Griselda Blanco. And she recently expressed difficulties on having range as an actress. Because she says of her hard accent and where she's from, it doesn't really give her the opportunity to be the best actress that she can be. But I think Griselda gives a new definition of that conversation. So what do you think?
I think that it is difficult, I guess, trying to navigate the media industry with an accent. But I think if she continues trying to push barriers, trying to apply for different roles, at least one person's going to take a shot on her. As you can see, they took a shot on her for Griselda, and she's doing amazing in the role. I mean, her role in Modern Family, she was more comical, but I think you get to see a new like depth to who Sofía Vergara is and who she can be.
Yeah, and I also, I think another perfect example is Zendaya, because while Zendaya was on Disney Channel and we knew to love her from these child-based shows, then she took that turn into HBO and Euphoria, and we saw the new essence of who she is as an actress, and the Emmy show for it, so there is hardware to show the work that she's put in. And I think this is a new time for Sofía Vergara to reinvent her career, because a lot of times, a lot of actors reinvent their careers and it goes really well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is not the last lead actress role that she has in a show or a movie.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some controversy with this whole story too.
It is.
Griselda's son is actually suing Sofía Vergara for name, image, and likeness. What do you think about that?
I kind of understand it, because I understand that's a very personal thing to him, because that's his mom, and seeing it on screen and not getting any type of authorization or asking him about the show, I can understand why him and the rest of the estate would be upset about that.
Okay. And like other movies happening about prominent people, One Love, which is about the life of Bob Marley, is coming out on Valentine's Day. The movie is featuring the legendary life of Bob Marley and just showcasing his entire essence and his global impact and stuff like that. What do you think about that? Are you going to watch the movie?
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch that movie.
Okay.
I might even watch the opening night. I think it's a great time to showcase this movie, especially on Valentine's Day, the day of love, naming it One Love. It just all makes sense. And Bob Marley has always been one of my favorite artists, so I'm definitely excited to see where it's going to go.
For sure. And what did you think about the leading actor?
I like the lead. I know I've seen him in a lot of movies already, so I know he's a trustworthy person. I know there's been a lot of talk like, why isn't one of Bob's sons playing him? But I believe that they were still very heavily involved in the role, still on set, like just kind of talking to the actors about their dad and the people around them, just to give insight and make it more lifelike to them. So I think it still paid off in the end.
I think so too. I'm not going to lie, I would have loved to see Ziggy Marley or Damian Marley actually play Bob. I feel like that would have really cemented this as a full circle moment. Yeah.
And it seems like all influential people are getting their movies, because we are getting the Michael Jackson movie. I'm really excited for this.
Yes.
And Jafar Jackson, his nephew, is playing him. And they look exactly alike.
Yeah. Like, even look at the graphic. He's on his toes.
So what do you think about the movie? Are you excited for it? What are you expecting?
I'm very excited about this because I know Jafar Jackson, he can sing. He looks just like him. I'm sure they'll be doing like dance training, choreography and stuff like that. So I think he's really going to like give his best foot or put his best foot forward rather. And I'm excited to see this.
And they also announced Coleman Domingo and Nia Long are playing his parents in the movie. So they're already getting Academy Award winners. The roster is looking star-studded. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. And like transitioning to fashion, Kith Women is finally getting a new creative director. Her name is Danielle Kathari. She has previously been known to work or collaborate with Adidas. She has a pretty popular line. I think it's really nice. So what do you hope to see, like, what do you think she'll do with the brand?
I think she'll definitely elevate it. Seeing the work that she did at Adidas, for her to be in that position, she obviously had to do a lot of great work. And I think that will continue to show through her fashion and what she does. And within this new role, I think she's going to elevate Kith into a new level. And we just have to see where it goes, but I'm honestly excited. And with fashion, Dapper Dan has a collaboration with Gap. And it's very affordable too. You can cop a few pieces. It's pretty nice. So Dapper Dan, the fashion and Harlem legend, announces his Gap collaboration. It's one big capsule and the price ranges from $20 to $160. Am I going to see you in some of the collaboration?
I mean, maybe. I like the pieces on the screen. I like the brown hoodie that Dapper Dan is actually wearing. So, I mean, who knows? You might see me in it the next episode. Stay tuned. As far as, like, the whole collection, I feel like this is a great moment for him, paying it forward, finally giving him his flowers. He's been very influential to the fashion scene. He designed a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say for Louis Vuitton and Gucci, but he did do a lot of, like, remix a lot of their designs. He was sued for it, but I'm finally, like, glad to see that he's getting his flowers and the appreciation he deserves because he's very influential in the fashion industry. And on that same vein of fashion, we know someone else who's very influential is Travis Scott. So his sneaker with Jordan finally came out after his performance at the Grammys, and we finally have the Jumpman Jack sneaker. But a lot of people really don't have it because it's sold out in minutes. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, that still shows how much Travis is a businessman. It was a great way, right after his performance at the Grammys on live television, the commercial was sick. There was a lot going on. It was definitely the Travis Scott essence, and I think it sold the sneaker perfectly. And for it to sell out in minutes, it really shows you that a lot of people still like his collaborations. And some people questioned if this was going to be the end of the Travis Jordan sneakers. I highly doubt that after it's selling out this much.
I doubt it. Like, the sneakers, I don't know. I just like his style. I feel like it's fire. And as far as the commercial, the edits were crazy. I really liked it. I mean, obviously, we were supposed to be looking at the sneaker. I was looking at the flash and all that type of stuff. But yeah.
Definitely cool. And to keep going with sneakers, we got to talk about Vanessa Bryant and the current Kobe sneaker collection. Right now, I feel like Vanessa is really honoring Kobe in a great way. As for the last couple weeks, every time I open Instagram, I feel like I see a new Kobe sneaker or her posting a new player edition of the sneaker. And I think it's really doing a great job of keeping the sneaker culture alive, especially within Kobe with the basketball legend that he is. But this has also shown big problems in resale culture and a lot of people buying the sneakers with no intent to actually wear them, but to resell them for double or triple the price. So what do you think about this issue and how do you think we could resolve it?
I think resellers are really robbing fans because there's a lot of people who just want these sneakers as collector's items to really honor the legacy of Kobe Bryant. But then you have people who just want to buy the sneakers for profit and make an additional profit off the sneakers. So I feel like there needs to be some type of regulations on purchasing sneakers that could be collector's items, but I don't know, it's just a difficult situation to kind of like regulate. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is really difficult, but I also know that there are instances where people actually buy like bots to wait in line for the sneakers app and to be able to get these sneakers. So hopefully we can figure it out. I'm really hoping because I really want a couple pairs. So hopefully by the summertime, we can all get this resolved.
I hope so, yeah. Because they go crazy on StockX and Goat.
Yeah, all the time. Price would be killing me.
Right? And continuing in like the basketball world, the NBA All-Star Weekend it's approaching, and it's approaching very quickly. This is the first time that the NBA and WNBA are actually integrating for the All-Star Weekend. What are your thoughts on how this could benefit the WNBA and the NBA itself?
Yeah, this is really great. So Sabrina Ionescu, she is a WNBA player, already making a lot of headlines, has her own signature sneaker that NBA men wear currently. She challenged Stephen Curry to a three-point contest. Both are great at what they do. I think it's really going to elevate both the NBA and the WNBA because it's making a stronger case for women in sports and showing more respect to the women who really work hard to be able to play these WNBA games and to make it in a league of their own.
I agree. I'm excited to see how the game goes. Yeah.
And in other news, because we know these athletes get paid, Shohei Ohtani signed a $700 million 10-year deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And this is crazy because the face of an American baseball league is a Japanese man who is playing the game really, really well, being able to pitch the ball, being able to hit the ball. What do you think about this? And how do you think this is going to elevate more faces like Shohei in not even just baseball, but in other places like football, basketball?
I think this is amazing because we have representation. I think it's always great to have representation in any field, especially athletics, because it can be a little niche sometimes, and I feel like it's great to show like there could be opportunities for more inclusivity, more diversity, and obviously he's winning because he has a $700 million contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making bank.
And in that same vein with athletes, we know that Tiger Woods, he's a famous golfer. Everybody knows him for golf. But he recently ended his partnership with Nike after 27 years. Do you think this means that he's going to be retiring soon?
I think so. Tiger has had a very illustrious career in the golfing world, considered the greatest of all time. The resume and the accolades speak for itself. I don't think he has anything to prove. So maybe this was just him just saying it was time and looking into new ventures in life. But no matter what, I think because a 27-year partnership means that you grew a family at Nike. And I don't think that'll ever leave, regardless of whether it's within a contract or not.
For sure.
And lastly, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder and majority owner of Facebook, currently was in court and he faced a room full of parents whose children had suffered from social media usage and apologized to them. It's a big deal. I know a lot of people in the media are saying that his apology was not justified and that he needs to do a little bit more to really show his sadness for what's going on. So what do you think Facebook and Instagram can do to kind of regulate the hate and everything that you see to target children and younger audiences?
I think there just needs to be more like content moderation because there's a lot of, there's just a lot of hate online and a lot of children really suffer from this hate. So I feel like if there's more content moderation, them setting up more regulations, probably highlighting keywords that might trigger some type of warnings and actually prevent people from going further. I think if we have things like that, social media could be a safer place. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly what you said, and to extend it into places like TikTok and Twitter, how easy it is to kind of see negative things about people or violence or things that's going on in the world. So I think more content regulation needs, because the For You feeds and everything, it can show you a lot of crazy things, especially at a young age where you become used to it at some point, and that shouldn't be the case for anybody.
Right. Well, that's it for What's the Word today. Next, we have Sofía and Lewis covering the Martin Luther King Jr. luncheon during the week of commemorative celebrations on campus.
Hi, I am Sofía Lewis of Culture Central. We are here at the Peace March celebration reception for MLK, and I'll be going around asking people a few questions about the event. Hi, okay, today we are here with
Tyler.
All right, Tyler, why do you feel feel like this the event is a significance for us?
Well, these type of events are important to remind us about where we came from and what we had to, pretty much endure and overcome throughout the centuries and to this day. These events really remind us that we're still fighting the three evils to this day. And service really isn't arbitrary. It never stops. And we have to remind ourselves that when our ancestors put themselves through their livelihoods, their health, and everything just for the rights we have today and the rights we're still fighting for.
Hi, I am here with
Mustafa Salah, Chad Daniel Simon.
Okay. My first question is, I know that you are an Alpha, so how does it feel to share a fraternity with such a significant figure, Martin Luther King?
It feels pretty good, honestly. I remember when I was trying to join my organization, he was one of the figures that I looked up to, and I studied his life just because, I think Alpha is just a collection of great men. I'm happy to have that person to look up to. And it's just every day a reminder that we all have an opportunity to make an impact, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why do both of you guys feel like events like this are important to have on Penn State's campus?
I'm gonna let Chad take this one first.
I think it's important to highlight Martin Luther King and obviously the significance that we know, but also talk about some of the things that we don't know or that we don't want to talk about. Because as it was said in the lovely speech I was giving earlier, Martin Luther King said more than just a dream. He talked about inequality, income inequality, evils of capitalism, all of these things that still are very prominent today that we need to still have discussions about.
Do you guys have any specific change that you want to see on campus as far as like social justice?
I think I just want to see communities brought together a little more than they are right now.
Right.
I think, we all know Penn State's a predominantly white institution, and, being black students, we're definitely in our own community. We don't really interact with a lot of white students. We don't really interact with a lot of white organizations.
Right.
So I would love to see more of an effort from the schools. I'd love to see more of an effort from us as students in leadership positions in different organizations to try to just bring communities together. You can learn something from everybody, and bringing communities is a way to do that. So, yeah.
Our God, where we met thee, blessed our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world we forget.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What is your name and what's something that you like to do?
Wilson Okello, and I love to roller skate. I love roller skating.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, ladies. I am here with
Shalovia Zulu, Leslie Lang, Sita Frederick.
Okay, so my question is, what do you feel like the significance of this event is for? And then what do you feel like this brings change for our community now?
I think one of the best things that I see looking around is all of the different people that are able to be in community with each other. So for me personally, I'm able to be around people that I may not normally be around. And I think that, that's the great vision of Dr. King, is that we would be able to be in community with each other and build the change together. These are the people that want to do that, and so it's really important to be with them.
I think anytime we can have concentrated space to reflect on the long memory of freedom movements that Dr. King was connected to, that we should take that time. We should invest in those spaces, and so this is one opportunity to do that.
We have the borough, we have student affairs, and we have Center for Performing Arts sitting here with you today, and we believe in keeping the movement in motion. That is our theme. That is why it's important, and like we heard earlier today, we want to encourage students, no matter what the conversation is, you have power. You want to see the change, then you have to be the change. And he said, Dr. Wilson Okello reminded us from a speech that it's not just about the surplus, but it's about the sacrifice.
Why do you think it's important for Penn State to have events like this and an event that honors MLK's whole week, like throughout this whole week? How do you feel about that? And why do you think it's important for us to have stuff like that?
Yeah, memory is important. And I think I think connecting our work to long memory is how we ultimately move the needle of equity and justice, right? So many folks have gone before us and have done important work, and we owe it to ourselves to bring that work forward, right? And in order to bring that work forward, again, I think we need sustained time and concentrated spaces to do that. And again, I think a longer week, events like this provide us with that opportunity.
We don't want to be one and done. It's really important at Penn State that we come together as a community and we keep marching forward. We have to live the dream, and we we have to be able to extend that dream so that everybody can catch a part of the vision. Whatever the vision is, to keep the peace, to build unity, to come together, to collaborate, it is important.
Celebrating the legacy, right, and the culture, and continuing that into the future, I think, is what we're about. And I feel like the idea of embodying both what we've seen happen of people standing up and not being silent, but in a peaceful way, and standing up and doing that ourselves, practicing that's like a muscle that needs to keep being practiced over and over and over again. So your question about the week long, like, it's every day. It's not just a week, it's every day. And it needs to be, at different moments in our community, in our timeline. So MLK gives us an opportunity to engage the broader community because everybody's like, oh, it's MLK Day, right? But it's an everyday type of thing. And I think as, organizers who are always thinking about what we can celebrate, we don't want it to be a week in January and the month of February and a day in June. Like, we want it to be constant, every day, because we're living it, right? We're living that anyway, and we want to be able to spread understanding and build that empathy that we need across difference.
Thank you, Sofía, for covering the event. We are so happy for Penn State to continue to keep Dr. King's dream alive. Next, we have an interview with Sean Carter of Carter's Table.
Welcome to Carter's Table. My name's Sean Carter. I'm from Western PA. Grew up in Western PA. Went to school at Penn State. I went to school for landscape architecture, which I didn't use it not 1 minute. I've always liked to cook. I started a car wash company in Penn State College in 08, and then started a catering business in 2018 after that. So that's where Carter's Table started, as a catering business. But then we started selling tacos at the farmer's market on Locust Lane. And it just took off. So now we're here. We have the flight special, so you can pick any three you want for $13.75. And the three I would say are pork, brisket, Thai barbecue. That'll give you a good range of flavors. I picked the taco mainly because it was easy to do. It was something that everyone loves to eat. It's inspired by things I grew up eating, places I've been throughout the world. I've been pretty blessed to travel a lot, so you'll see flavors from, like the tagline says, worldwide flavors. So I like to incorporate flavors from everywhere. I did the farmer's market, and the farmer's market, if you saw it, it was incredible. It was like the line was around the tent. She was there. She saw it. The line was around the tent and down Calder. And I had been doing my catering business, and it was taking off at the same time. So, like maybe 2 months before I even opened the restaurant, I even realized I was going to do the restaurant. Just because it took off so much, I was like, this will work. So I was like, you know what, these will sell. I've always wanted to have a restaurant. My goal for this place is just to keep making it a place where people are comfortable coming to. All ages, all ethnicities. And then in terms of it being a franchise, that stuff is in God's hands, honestly. Like, who knows? Someone might walk in here and be like, hey, I want to build a franchise out of this. I don't have any plans for that, but that would be amazing if we did that.
What's your favorite cuisine and/or dish, and who makes this dish?
So my mom was half Lebanese, half Italian. So I grew up eating Lebanese food. So I would probably say Anything Lebanese, which would be like lamb on the rock, which is like grilled lamb, and some sauces, garlic sauce, banana pepper sauce. It's just tough for me because if you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably say something different. Do what you love. Find something you love to do. Because it's going to get hard. It's going to get frustrating. And if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to end up resenting the job, which no one ever gets into it trying like with that in mind, right? So do something you love.
I do want to try the brisket Cajun.
You got it.
No bad. Why you coming at me for no bad, bro?
No.
I think you better than that. That was good. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sean, for showing us a little culture in the kitchen. If you're interested in keeping up to date with Carter's Table, please follow their Instagram at Carters_table.
That's it for another episode of Culture Central. Until next time.
For the culture.
We are
Culture Central.